Hello and welcome back to the channel, Green Money Momentum Investors, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. And well, this last week in the markets, we didn't really get to see a lot of green money momentum. We actually saw quite the downslide. So there was a lot of sell-off in the market, which is now sparking a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Just when we pull up this article here, it is so funny. Look at these two guys' faces right here. Their fear, uncertainty, and doubt is crazy. So they are so shocked, and that is to the news that the Dow dropped 700 points and we had the worst day of 2025. And so now many investors, again, are feeling this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're saying, man, I thought Trump was getting back into office and this was going to mean green candlesticks every day. What the hell has happened? And so I'm going to be talking about all of that today. But before I do that, I want to say, as always, that this is not financial advice, and I always recommend doing your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. I also want to point out that the opinion you're going to be receiving today is from a hyper bull. So I am always bullish on the market, and so I see the market having a strong recovery from this. But in the moment, let's talk about the news that is sending stocks and indexes down. And so we're going to start with this article here, and we could see that on Friday, there was a lot of concern over inflation, a slowing economy, all that. And so all the major indexes and stocks took a massive dip. So the Dow Jones was down, the S&P was down, and so was the NASDAQ. And if you do a look at the overall broad market, so this is all the stocks in the U.S. stock market, we could see that it was a pretty bloody day on Friday. Almost every single play did have red associated with it. And also, this is pretty significant, as we could see since Trump's inauguration that the European stock market has actually been outpacing the U.S. stock market. And so this is just looking at the two major indexes, the Stocks Europe 600 and the S&P 500, which we know is a good indicator how the overall market is doing. And so, yeah, since Trump has been inaugurated, we have seen the European stocks outpace the U.S. stocks. And this mass sell-off, again, comes all from fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the economy, inflation, consumer prices, and then also the tariffs that Trump have been talking about. And so Jerome Powell hasn't really spoke about this, but other officials have, and they have expressed concern about Trump's moves to impact policy, possibly delaying further rate cuts. And the market currently is anticipating the next cut to come in July or September. So quite a ways from now. So if you've been following the storyline with the markets this year too, you know that Trump has been trying to pressure Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve to cut rates back down. But the Federal Reserve is staying persistent with their goal for 2% inflation and having a slower cutting process. And so every single day, we're being loaded up with more and more financial news. And it seems like there's been a lot of negatives. A lot of individuals aren't supporting Trump's plan with the tariffs, and not everybody is happy with inflation. And so during times like this, I always like to say that the bears are being louder than the bulls. The fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the bears are putting into the market has a lot of individuals shaky. And it's so funny. I just talked about this weeks ago when the first Trump tariffs were being talked about with Mexico and Canada. They ended up just being a negotiating tool. But man, if you went on anywhere on the internet, on articles or on YouTube, everybody was talking about this is the stock market crash with a crazy fear, uncertainty, and doubt title. So every title had a picture like, and then the title would be like, the market is about to crash to zero. But again, I am a hyper bull. And what I want to encourage investors to remember is, despite all this fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we have been feeling, and what seems to be such a retraction down, when we look at the overall S&P 500 index for the last month, we could see that the sell-off is not really that major at all, and that we are just right around this support level for the S&P on the short term. And when we zoom out even further and look at the past 6 months, the S&P has been very green. When we look at the last year, so the trailing 12 months, we could see that it is up 18%, and all time, again, the S&P is up 703%. And so the reason why I bring this up is because I personally believe that the markets are perpetual and they go on forever. Just as this chart shows here, when we look at all the historic worst moments in recent history that sent the market down tumbling and put a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt into investors such as we are feeling now, we could see each and every single time that we did have a recovery. So first, starting in the massive slide we had in 2008, many people felt this was the end of the world. And look at the recovery we have had all the way up to 2020, which now in recent years looked like the most recent historic terrible moment. Everybody thought the markets were crashing. Everybody was going out to buy tons of toilet paper. Everyone was feeling a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We thought the world was going to end. And then we had the great V recovery. In 2022, we had a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we rose goes right back up. So what I have here on screen is the Fear and Greed Index, and this is just a little bit of an indicator on how the markets are feeling, what the overall sentiment is at this exact moment. And we could see that the markets are more on the side of feeling fear than they are of feeling greed. And we know the historic great quote, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when others are greedy, be fearful. And so with the most recent downslide that we've seen, I'm licking my lips as I am super excited to hop into more plays and more opportunities while we are on this fire sale. And just to further strengthen my own conviction, this right here says that history is on my side and the markets are perpetually green. As this says that the S&P market, the S&P bull market could continue for several years. So despite the little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we most recently saw, we are still not in a bear market. Since its creation in 1957, the S&P has experienced 10 bull markets, and that is just a period where the index advanced at least 20% from a bear market low. So this right here just shows some history. This is showing the bull markets that the S&P 500 has experienced and how long that lasted, how many days were in between each bull market. And so currently where we're sitting at right now in this bull market, the S&P, since its lows when it had its last crash of 20% or more, which indicates that bear market, we have seen the S&P return 184%, and this has lasted for almost 2,000 days now. The S&P should continue to run in a bull market for at least what it's saying here, another 1,000 plus days, and we shouldn't see this bull market until February of 2028. And so this is just going off of past numbers and history. This isn't necessarily to be true 100% of the time. We could always see a big retraction, or we could really start to see ourselves enter into a bear market. But I do believe in history. I do believe in everything that has happened in the past. And I do believe that those past events will also be what we see into the future. And so despite having some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and seeing the market take a hard downslide this Friday, I know it's not easy. I know a lot of investors are feeling fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I know it hurts to see your equity gets slashed, but I truly do believe that we are only building towards the upside, and moments like this is where a lot of paper hands will get shooken out of the market. And so myself, like I say, I'm holding strong, and I'm only planning on adding to more strong plays and companies that I believe in. But I would love to hear what everyone else has to say. I would love to hear if you're bullish on the markets, bearish on the markets, if you're long or if you're short, if you're not involved, sitting on the sidelines. I just want to hear what your position is. So please drop a comment with that down in the section below. Please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you're feeling a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, just look away from the investment portfolio. It's the weekend, so go touch some grass, go enjoy your life. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.
Money talk. Here comes the money.